Okay, we'll continue a bit about the reason. Okay. Okay. The next one is inadequate adherence to SDLC and or development methodologies. Okay. So under SDLC we have user requirement analysis. Okay, and then design, right? So all these steps must be followed. Okay, now there are tendency for the system developer to skip several steps. Why they skip? That's a good question. Why they skip? They skip because they want to rush to develop, rush to design. Okay, it is good to have a finished product, but it is equally important for everyone to follow through the process. Okay, so the first thing is to identify user requirement. If we just take a very brief user requirement, we might end up with the finished product that is not needed by users. Okay, so it's important to really focus on each steps and make sure that it is done correctly. Okay. Next is insufficient attention to interdependency on other applications and processes. Now we have to remember that if we create a system for sales, actually it will also involve inventory, it will also involve cash collection, it will also involve accounts receivable. It's also involved with the credit management. Okay, so before we rush to develop a system, we need to consider what are the processes, okay, and what are the interdependencies application that might affect when we develop one system. Okay, so we have to take the overall view, the large view, right? Next, insufficient attention to inadequate configuration management. Okay, configuration management is also important. Okay, because we also consider technology, we also consider the hardware that we're going to use. Okay, when we develop a system, not only software, we have to consider how many we take the hypermarket case. Okay, how many station for cashier? As we have 10 station, we need to have also hardware, and the hardware must be compatible, must be configured that is suitable or can be aligned with our software. Okay, when we develop, okay, using certain language, it is mentioned that what are the requirement. For example, how much memory is needed, what technology that's support. Okay, maybe we're using C++ as a language, or SQL, or what are other language that are available in the market. Okay, so we need to read and to understand what are the requirement. Okay, how much memory is needed, what platform is it, Sybase, is it Open Linux. Okay, so we need to take all the consideration before we proceed. Okay, then insufficient planning for data conversion. Okay, data conversion comes after we have test run the software, we have installed to our machines, we have test in test environment, not in the actual operation. We test and we make sure that it is stable. Okay, then we can install at one section only, test again, and if it is stable we can move on to the next station. Okay, so it's stage by stage. Okay, once it is stable, we can decide to cut off the old system and make sure the new system is running, or we can parallel run the operation. We maintain old and we start running the new one. Okay, or we decide to fully stop the old and install and use the new one. So the planning must be carefully done so that it will not interrupt our normal business. Finally, post implementation. After we implement, we have to do the reports. Okay, and this one is cut over disruption. Okay, cut over disruption. Let's say we implement the new system, suddenly there is a problem that we found when we use new system. Okay, now there is we have to perform post-mortem or special reports why this thing happened, and we have to get to suggest solution. If this thing happen again, what should we do? What are the alternative we can take as to make sure that this is not going to disrupt with our normal operation, and we want to make sure that this is a learned experience. Okay, meaning that if this thing happen, we know what to do, we know who to contact, we know where to restart. Okay, and one keyword is we want to make sure the business run like normal or maybe smoother, right? So we'll continue with the next video with the planning.